Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I have the opportunity to drive the brand new 2015 Audi RS3. I have 7 horsepower and 0.5 liters less compared to the RS3, but I guess that this makes all the difference. Let's start first with the exterior. By the way, I'm really sorry, weather has been really good until today, and today is kind of rainy and windy, so apologize for the wind noise. From the exterior, there are some slight differences between the RS3 and the S3. The front bumper is different, it looks more aggressive. The front grille is also the typical RS model's grille. This specific model has the adaptive cruise control, otherwise you would have the Quattro logo. The front wheel arches are a tiny bit wider compared to the S3. Moving on the side, we see 19 inches wheels and the specific RS brakes. On the rear, you have a specific bumper with the RS exhaust, and the rear spoiler is slightly different comparing to the one on the S3. Moving on the interior, I have to say that there are not so much changes compared to the Audi S3. The sport S seats are the same, except some graphic changes. RS3 logo. And the steering wheel has the upper and lower part in Alcantara. And basically that's it. The rest of the interior is really almost the same as the one on the S3. This model doesn't have the RS design pack, which gives some red accent on the interior, especially on the inside of the air vents and on the seat belts. Power is delivered through this 2.5 5-cylinders engine with 367 horsepower and 465 Nm of torque. The trunk is a bit smaller compared to the S3, which is kind of strange as both models have the Quattro transmission, but the one on the RS3 is slightly smaller. Now let's go for a ride. I can feel for sure that the suspension is quite stiff on dynamic mode. the exhaust sound is okay when you drive slowly. It's not that loud, even on dynamic. Hahaha. When the gearbox downshift, you can hear that crackling on the exhaust. It is different from the A45 though. The A45 used to do it even when you release the throttle, and I'm not hearing that from the RS3. By the way, the 0 to 100 kilometers an hour is done in 4.3 seconds, as opposed to the 4.9 seconds for a standard S3 with the DSG gearbox, and probably 4.6 to 4.7 seconds on my S3 ABT, which has 360 horsepower. And also the magical sound of the Audi 5 cylinders, 2.5 liters. Obviously that makes the difference. If you buy the RS3, you need to buy the RS exhaust. I'm gonna move now to comfort, which means that the suspensions, the steering wheel, and the exhaust sound get softer. I honestly don't feel that much difference in terms of suspensions. It is a tiny bit softer, but the difference between the dynamic mode and the comfort mode is not as big as the Audi RS4 that I drove a couple of months ago. On the Audi RS4, the dynamic mode for the suspensions would make the suspensions really a lot stiffer and hard, and almost impossible to drive in normal conditions. I remember that I turned them off quite at the beginning because it was really absolutely uncomfortable. On this RS3, even the dynamic mode is okay. It's stiffer, but it's not that uncomfortable. That's insane! Let's try to go slow. There's nobody behind me. quite frankly, it doesn't really push a lot more than my S3 ABT. But of course the sound of the engine with 5 cylinders opposed to 4 cylinders on my car, and the sound of the exhaust, the RS performance exhaust, makes the sensation really a lot better. I can feel that the front is heavier compared to the S3, probably because of the 5 cylinders engine, but still the car is very agile. Realize, whether it's true or not, that when you downshift while braking at the same time, the exhaust doesn't make that crackling sound. This is something I've noticed. So at the end, I have to say that the differences between my actual S3 ABT 360 horsepower and this RS3 with 367 horsepower, difference is not that big. So I feel better after having tested the RS3, because the exhaust sound, you can buy an aftermarket exhaust and have almost the same kind of sound. Probably the main difference, it's the engine. Of course, nothing can replace the sound and the agreement of the 5 cylinders 2.5 as opposed to a 4 cylinder. Then I have to say that despite being really an amazing car, coming from my car, I'm not that tempted to change and to swap the S3, my S3 with 360 horsepower with the RS3. Probably if you have a stock S3 with 300 horsepower, then the difference it's huge, would be huge. But in my specific case, there is a difference again, and the main difference is the engine, of course. But I don't think I will be that disappointed going back to my car after leaving the RS3. The Audi RS3 is definitely an amazing car. It's a very hot hatchback. If I had to choose between the A45 AMG and this RS3, I would personally choose the RS3 because it offers a better overall experience, a better build quality, especially on the interior, and a more modular car. I would say a more day-to-day usable car, because switching to comfort on the Audi Drive Select gives you really a quite normal car, and then going to the dynamic mode, the car turns to almost to a race car. So I like that versatility that you don't necessarily find, at least I didn't find, in the A45 engine, which was a pure race car. This is it for my review of the Audi RS3. It starts to rain quite heavily. It's time to wrap up. Thank you very much for watching my video. Like, subscribe if you want, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Bye bye! That was it for the external and internal. That was it for the external and internal. That was it. This is it for the review of the blah blah.
Forgot to turn off the camera.